Welcome to In the Loop, our podcast where we talk about all things music. We'll catch up with what we've been up to, chat with a special guest or two, and just generally have a good time talking about our work building positive communities. This is an on-the-road version of the podcast.
Yeah.
Here in Brevard. Beautiful Brevard, North Carolina. We really like this town.
Pisgah Forest.
It's that way.
It's right there, actually. Matter of fact, Charles took me over there yesterday and tortured me. So, I have a general rule now. I made it up yesterday after hanging out with Charles for the morning and exercising is never go on a run with a long-distance trail runner in the mountain. I mean, God.
Every day does that.
He just set a pace and just chugged away straight up a mountain, and I was like dying. And now I can't move my legs today. So, thanks, buddy. Speaking of,
we've been having a good time, a great time here, catching up with a couple friends that we've only Zoomed with and only interacted with online, and we got to see them in person and play a show to a few people. Had the garage doors open, partially outdoor, masked, all that. It felt really good last night, though.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
So much fun.
And some really, really good players, which,
Yeah.
Again, I'm always, I was telling the hype man in there, Phil, that I'm most impressed at the level when you do end up playing with people. Everyone's such a professional. There's about 30, 45 minutes of a practice, I guess, like a rehearsal, and then boom, you just pull it off. And, of course, there are probably a few missing notes every once in a while, but
yeah,
it's so tight.
I don't. Last night went really well. Those guys, of course, came in prepared. We've been texting back and forth, just demos and stuff like that. But I was so excited to play these songs that I've never played with anyone yet. I've played them. They've only been around a month or weeks or days even, but it's a different experience, and they really come to life when I can play them with a drummer and a bass player, especially when they're like world class musicians like Mike and Travis.
Well, and the cool thing is that, and we talked with Charles earlier in the day, so we'll share that. Who is literally probably one of the most prolific songwriters that we know.
Yeah.
And he's so people, he plays in a pretty well-known band, Songs from the Road band. They've just been signed with some folks to and he talks all about that. But man, he how many songs? 80-something songs he talks about he wrote since March. They're all awesome. I mean, there's 8 of them you're involved with.
Yeah.
They're all great songs, and they're developing. And so to see a band put their spin on it last night was
fun.
They did their own things. They sang harmony in spots I didn't think about, which is cool. You got their take on it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So we're doing it again tonight. We're doing it at the Gray Eagle, which is an awesome venue in Asheville. This will be a crowdless show, but Travis has a show, almost like a variety show where he's going to interview me quite a bit, and then he's playing some, and I'm playing some, and then we're all playing some again. So I'm looking forward to tonight. And
and here's one of my favorite things about last night. You showed people a little new trick you had up your sleeve there.
An old trick.
Very old. I think I saw you play drums one of the first times I ever actually encountered you. So, how fun was that?
It was so fun. I mean, I never get to play drums, and it was fun because Mike is playing drums with Steve Canyon Rangers, and I guess most people probably think of him as a drummer, but he's actually a multi-instrumentalist too. So he was on bass and guitar as well.
That guitar sounded so good.
It was great. So
yeah.
And when you're playing with people that can kind of jump around, Travis played guitar on a few, and it's just a lot of fun playing with guys that just like to have fun and play music, switch instruments, and it's no big deal. So it was extra.
And you played drums on a Sting tune. You had to Copeland yourself, and you killed it. It was great. You were putting all the little flourishes in there and stuff.
I definitely can't play like Stuart Copeland, but I was telling Kelly was asking me because I told her a couple days ago. I was like, I'm gonna get to play drums. She's like, are you gonna go practice? I was like, well, my drum skill level is kind of just where it is. I don't, it's been there since I was a kid, and I, grew up. That was the first instrument I ever played. Nobody taught me. I don't know what I'm doing. But it's kind of I can get by, but I'm not
Yeah.
no Stuart Copeland, but
Your drumming is about like my running with Charles
Right,
yesterday.
yeah.
I knew my legs would take me there, and I would suffer a consequence afterwards. So the funniest part to me last night, and it was such a great show. Go back, check out day 309 if you guys didn't see it last night. It's a string duster, a Steep Canyon Ranger, and Josh. The best part though was, man, all this build up the other night, right? You were on song 899, and what was 900 gonna be?
Yeah.
And 309 days in a row, you've played guitar, and then you hit song 900 playing the drums for the first. So
I love
stupid.
I love it.
No planning.
No planning.
We talked about song 900 quite a bit. You know,
I
what
don't
do
know
we
if that
do?
counts, though. I don't know.
It does,
I guess
because
it is a unique song.
it was the first time you played it and you played on it. I didn't count the songs last night where you were not on the stage playing.
Okay.
So, but I did count if you were on the drums, and I put a little note on the
All right.
drums.
I like this. Keeping the
So,
stats.
I mean, you know,
Keeping the stats.
really, it's up to me.
Right. We're making this whole thing up.
Yeah, I don't have any real set rules or anything, and I may have missed a song or two. Chances are, that was probably when Hannah was on watch. So anyway, yeah, we sat down with Charles and had a really great discussion, and we'll play that for you guys in a little bit. But it was neat to watch Charles witness the songs he wrote with you be played, and Sarah Siskind was there, and she was watching the songs be played that you guys wrote from different angles, one from outside, one from inside.
It was so cool to get to meet up with her and Charles as well. And who knows, when they play these songs, and we talk about it a little bit, you know, they'll put their spin on it too, and who knows, they're just like little babies, and they go out and become adults.
However they're fostered.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what people do with them, what I do with them, we'll continue hopefully this spring or summer, maybe get to playing with full band again. Last night got me fired up, and then today got a couple calls, a couple booking requests for festivals this summer. So we got our fingers crossed. And hopefully we got the light at the end of the tunnel, which is we'll get out of this thing and we can get back to being in person.
Yeah.
Hopefully this spring or summer, as long as it's safe.
I mean, that was the thing too, is and this is why it's important that I think that we're still playing these safe shows like this, and first of all, wouldn't do it if we didn't feel very comfortable with the way things are laid out and the people who are running it. And the folks last night at 185 King were amazing. The owners were there. They've got beer they're brewing on site, and
Delicious.
the woman who owns it with her husband was bartending and just knew everybody, and their tables were spaced out, and they had the garage doors open.
Everyone was masked, the whole time when we got there.
You guys
We
too.
were masked too.
Here's I got a picture of you guys on stage, masked up, bro hugging.
That's great.
If you can't tell, that's Josh there on the left, and then that's Travis in the middle, and that's Mike. Travis is with the String Dusters, and he's doing the happy hour that we're gonna be on, that you're on tonight. And then hopefully we'll get to talk with these two guys. And Mike is with Steep Canyon Rangers, and as Josh was saying, just plays everything.
These guys, I was just asking him yesterday. I was like, "Are you staying busy?" He was like, "No." He was like, "Well," he said, "Well, I've got 4 boys." I said, "Holy cow!"
Yeah.
They're under 11, so he's got his hands full being a dad again. Again, another silver lining, and we were just talking about it last night, is we've gotten to spend time with our families and stuff like that. But I know these guys are itching to play too, you know. And so Travis and I, we've been talking about maybe doing some shows this spring, because the String Dusters, he was saying, man, I mean, everybody lives in different towns, and it's a lot to get those guys all together to play a show, and it's just not doable right now. So smaller things, and
Be mobile.
we're gonna. I'm excited to see what happens, this year.
Well, the energy that comes from you and other players actually playing, and the very few people, I mean, I guess there might have been, 50 people there last night, which is,
like that,
spread all over that big old place.
Yeah.
Everybody was electric afterwards.
Yeah. Oh,
you can just tell that is the difference. The
It is.
online streaming's getting people through it, like it's a temporary patch kind of.
Yeah.
But seeing a show like that, and I feel very lucky that I get a sort of witness.
Yeah. You've seen all the ones I've done.
I've seen a lot of live music.
But I'm itching to see some stuff too.
Yeah.
But it's also like, we feed off the crowd, and as much as I love to be with everybody online, and thank goodness we've got a crew that really does throw that enthusiasm back at me, and I catch a lot of it while I'm playing. I try, I have to balance of looking at those comments while I'm playing, singing, doing pedals, working graphics, everything, but multitasking.
Oh man.
Which Kelly says I'm not a good multitasker, but I don't know.
The kind of thing that you're doing right now, where your feet are pushing pedals and your fingers are pushing buttons,
that's my
and
multitasking.
you're playing 3 instruments at the same time. Like, I think that counts. You might not be able to fold the laundry and talk on the phone, and
Right. That's probably what she's talking about.
and watch the kids and play guitar at the same time. But that's why you hire some people. You got help around you. What else?
What else? We were at the beach. We were in Florida.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Florida.
we hadn't done a podcast since you've been down there.
Because we were relaxing for a little bit. It was awesome. Santa Rosa Beach, Florida.
Yeah, that's where my family goes. I told you,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that sand is super white.
Yeah.
Squeaky.
Water was really blue.
Yeah,
It's nice.
It's beautiful. You don't realize that you're in Florida.
Right.
You feel like you're kind of in the Caribbean a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
Just getting out of the house with the kids. It's just we've been holed up in that house with the 4 of us.
And tell these fine folks what family that was, because we got a lot of that. The cute. I mean,
Oh yeah,
God,
that's one of my
their
best
2 little
friends,
ones are.
one of my oldest best friends, Anna, and her husband Mac, and their girls are about Maddie and Sonny's age. So
Yeah.
they live in Denver, Colorado, and they just had to get out, because like she was just saying, they like to ski and all that stuff, and there's none of that's going on, and like they were holed up. They were like, we need to get the kids outside. They got a heated pool, so they rented their house. They went to Florida, and then they invited us because they're not going anywhere. They were totally isolated just at the house, and when we have been too. So we felt comfortable going and spending some time with them, and so that was really
Well, let your kids wear each other out.
exactly. That was nice to have them. They played with each other, and we could hang, and then just hanging with people. It's something that.
And Sonny, we found out that Sonny, you guys may have to make an addition.
He told me, he said, Dad, I want Doggy in my house.
Oh.
I said, we've got a lot of people to take care of already, but
Well, not a whole lot of room either.
Yeah.
You can't fit a dog and all of the musical equipment you have and kids in that
exactly.
car, so you may have to wait a little while.
well, Sonny's still potty training too, so I can't potty
Yeah.
train a dog, which is a similar.
What you need to get is an adult, just adopt an adult dog that is patient and fluffy.
Like that one would be perfect.
Yeah, and just Anna, can we have your dog? You went from one extreme to another. There, you went from Florida right back home, straight up to the mountain.
Yeah, it's actually been really nice up here though. It's
Yeah. Big
I haven't seen
difference.
any snow yet, but you saw some snow.
I went from Boone, so I got up real early Monday and drove from Raleigh to Boone to ski with my dad and my niece and my brother, which is super special to me because it's so fun to have a dad that's active.
That's awesome.
This dude is going by himself skiing. I love my dad. He found out that he could get a free ski lift ticket after 70. So he went into Sugar Mountain.
Nice.
Yeah, he went into Sugar Mountain and he said, I'm 70. And they were like, good for you, sir. And he's like, no, I get a free ski lift. And the guy said, I don't think so. And he was like, look it up. I saw it on your website. So he went and got the manager. The manager was like, yeah, that's the way it works. It was a new guy, I guess.
That's awesome.
So my dad, loves doing stuff with his kids and his grandkids. And, he's all over it. And so, but when we're not around, when we're at work and he's retired, I found out he's just going to Sugar Mountain by himself and skiing.
That's awesome. That's a fun little mountain too.
Yeah, I mean, and they got snow. So they got, I get up
They
there.
make it though, don't they?
Well, they got it and they're making it. I get up, I go from Raleigh, it's like 50 degrees, and I drive into Sugar Mountain, and I get behind a snowplow, and my car, you should see my car out there, is covered in just salt. And we get on the mountain, and the top of that mountain's 5,300 feet, and it's 11 degrees and 45-mile-an-hour winds, and you're riding this really slow ski lift. Just getting pelted with like the snow blowers and fresh snow, but it was fun skiing, and they probably had 10 runs open. And then I shot down here, and 30 minutes drive down the mountain, and it was 50 degrees again and beautiful. And then I went up a mountain again, and I see the sign for Linville Falls, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting out and doing a hike. And hiked in and saw Linville Falls, and I mean, just beautiful. I mean, that's outdoors is life for me. So
it's awesome here.
And then got here and got to play music and
have fun.
Now we're
See
podcasting.
people in person. It was fun.
I mean, just
much better than when you were laid up with the teeth.
Oh God.
The other week.
So one of the worst things right now is that like 15 years ago, I went to the dentist and they had to stick a needle directly in a nerve, and I mean, it was bad. That was one of the worst pains I've ever felt. So I hate dentists, obviously, because of that. Just the whole dentistry practice now is on my bad list. And then...
So you never went?
Well, yeah, I just didn't go. Yeah, which is terrible. I know. And I love ribs. I think everyone knows that listens and participates in the chats that I do a lot of ribs. I don't literally cook them in my sauna, but there's a funny sauna rib joke going around. Anyway, twice now in my life, I've accidentally gotten a really small piece of bone and bitten down and broken a tooth in half. 2 teeth. Same side, my rib-eating teeth, man. They're leaving me quickly.
A rib-related injury.
It was. And I'm thinking because I talk about ribs on the show that this should be covered in workers' comp. And I want to know, do you have workers' comp?
Let me check with the boss.
Yeah.
With Kelly.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
No, so I broke a tooth, a wisdom tooth. I still have all my wisdom tooth, and they had to pull those puppies. And of course, I hated dentists because of that. So guys, you're gonna have to numb my whole upper body. And they're like, do you want to go to sleep? I'm like, no, I don't want to be put under by a dentist. I just don't want it to hurt. Here's my experience. And these guys were great, man.
Good.
But 5 minutes, and they pulled 2 of my teeth out of my head.
Oh man.
But the crazy thing is that it heals so fast. Like I didn't have to take any pain meds or anything, which I'm not a big fan of. And it feels weird. And now I've got just my right side to chew ribs on. So we're stuck with that.
That's hilarious.
This is a commercial.
Josh, have you ever tried this Triloca incense?
Have I tried it? I'm constantly burning this stuff, especially when I'm playing. I love this one. The saffron is amazing. These guys are awesome. They're good friends of mine, and they sponsored today's show. So shout out to Triloca. You guys check them out. They are the best.
And I got a package of that from those guys because it was part of our giveaway.
That's right.
For the eBay auctions for fundraising.
That's right.
And my house still smells like it.
Good.
And whoever won that auction won a lifetime supply, quote unquote, which I think is probably about 7 days for you.
It might be. I'm burning this nonstop.
Nonstop.
I love it, though. And
it's that good, though. And
I wasn't an incense person, I swear. I wasn't into what you typically smell. But this stuff. It's a little bit different, and it's awesome. These guys are great. So check them out. Triloca. They're big supporters of live music and big supporters of what we got going on. So thank you for taking the time.
And do we know where to send these guys to get that
Well,
stuff?
Triloca is a brand, and they are in Whole Foods.
Cool.
And they are in a lot of shops and stuff like that.
There's some places online you can order it.
Yeah.
Quite a few, actually. Yeah. Etsy has some. Amazon's got some stuff.
So more so than just a company that's selling incense, they are the brand. You get this anywhere. So check it out when you see it in the stores. It's premium quality.
Awesome stuff. All right, Triloca.
So what do we got coming up? Oh, you know what? I need to add it in here. What about the super secret project that I've been working on with our friend?
Project. It's coming soon.
So we got news on stuff that's coming. We got vinyl news.
Yes, the vinyl has been pressed, and it's being packaged up. So we're gonna have a release date for that very soon.
We're just sort of waiting to get it and make sure everything's cool.
Yeah.
Start packaging them up. But this is Home, which is all originals on vinyl that you performed during the quarantine session. So some of our favorite kind of pulls that have been remastered a little bit.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. And then we're going to get cooking on these new songs, full band arrangements in the studios, and working on releasing singles this year. So a lot of stuff's going to be released this year, and working on some new merch ideas. Super excited about
Socks.
Fernlandia.
Socks too.
Are being made,
Yeah,
too.
people are stoked.
I can't wait to show you guys. They're purple and green.
So yeah, they're gonna love them. There's a lot of
socks.
sock lovers because when you mentioned it, people were like, "I got them. I'm getting them. I love socks. Here's my socks right now."
I hope so.
So what I've been working on, and again, I've said it before, but I love that I can just say, "Hey, Josh, I got an idea. I'm gonna work it out. Don't worry about it." And you're like, "Do whatever, man." And people have been, document all this, and how do you make a playful way of sort of putting all of the stories that have been created online in the community out there as sort of the story of Fernlandia. And so Anna, who did the artwork for the Couch Fall Tour with the skeleton and the ferns, she's doing the artwork, Anna Pugh, and she's amazing, and we'll put some links up for her so you can follow her Instagram. She draws all these cool things. She did all the artwork for this coloring / kids, but also for adults book that we're making called Greetings from Fernlandia. And it's amazing. You got a sneak peek
I got
of
a
it.
sneak preview. There's a lot. You're gonna recognize a lot of the characters in it. Of course, Lefty's in it, and Hannah and me and the kids.
But
and
the
Kelly, but
community,
you
the
guys are in it
jamily,
too, so
yeah.
We're excited. I guess it's almost done, right?
It's pretty much done. Anna just finished sending me the last little bit of artwork. So what it'll be is, it's not really, and I had to kind of explain this to you, but it's not really about you, Josh. It refers to the musician, but it is about the characters that came in and built this community around us that we love so much.
Yeah.
And as we've said before, we're basically taking a lot of the ideas that we talk about online and that you get from the crowd and that I see, and creating stuff that's inside jokes a little bit, some stuff that's appealing to everybody, and maybe they'll catch up on the joke. So it's like a 14-page coloring book, and everyone is laid out on the cover and the back. If you lay it out flat, it's this poster that you can color that's Greetings from Fernlandia, the whole poster. And it's got characters, it's got references, it's got songs. So we're gonna hold a contest, and we're gonna let the kids pick their favorite colored one, and we're gonna do some giveaways for charity stuff for that, I think. So what we'll do is we'll launch this book in the next couple weeks, hopefully. Again, printing maybe slower, so we'll deal with that. But I wrote the story, Anna did the art. The wonderful thing about that is that Anna, it doesn't participate in the Jamly, and so I had to explain what all these references were, and then she just drew her own take on it, and it came out like really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait to just all this new stuff for 21 that we've got.
Yeah.
And more stuff in the pipeline as well. So, stick around. We're just trucking through. We're looking at day 365.
We've got ideas.
1 year.
We've got ideas. We're not sure how quite to pull it off. We really want to have a 1-year party, but make sure it's safe.
Yeah.
So, we may do it at a venue we've played at before. Or we may just do a really small thing in the yard and make it kind of private and raise some funds for that too.
Yeah. And of course, it'll all be online for you guys to check out. So, and that's not going away. So stick around for, live music every day.
Every day.
New songs every week.
And then also, we got, next month we got Valentine's coming up, which we were throwing the idea around of half the set list anti-love songs.
First set, second set.
And then second set love songs, so that all of us
can participate.
All right. Because some people feel left out on Valentine's Day, Josh. Like the retired folks.
I think Maddie and Sonny will definitely give you a Valentine.
Oh, yeah? They are my Valentine. I'll probably get one from my mom. She sends one every year.
Aw,
She's cute. And then after that, really, we're just focused on March 16th is 1 year.
Yeah.
You started on
Crazy.
the 17th,
Crazy.
March 16th, which is
I think it's a
Tuesday or Wednesday or something. So that kind of we're not going to do some sort of big weekend rager, but we can't really rage right now
keep you
anyway.
posted. We're figuring it out. We're definitely going to do something special though.
Yeah.
And we were sitting around saying, hey, we've been doing the Spotify, checking in on what people are listening to on Spotify. We actually forgot to ask Charles
Oh yeah.
what Spotify last 3 songs he was listening to. So I figured we would just ask Lefty.
Oh, I get to share
What are your last 3? And you got to be honest.
Okay, well, I'm
We
guessing.
like to see what everyone's listening to.
All right. I hope you guys learned something from this, but chances are, well, of course, it's because we were listening to stuff yesterday, but Sanctuary, His Golden Messenger,
The new single.
the new single, which
Awesome.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I rock the hat a lot.
I love
Like
those guys.
MC Taylor's one of my...
North Carolina.
Yeah, they're Durham
Yeah.
folks. Mad respect for the triangle writing scene, but MC Taylor's like one of my favorite songwriters right now, and such a unique sound. Giant Hiscold, and live they are. I mean, they'll put 8 or 9 people up there, background singers and horns. And I got a friend used to live in the neighborhood at where my old house was in Raleigh that plays horns with them, and just fun band.
Yeah, that's good.
It's good driving music. If you put one of their albums on and you drive.
What else you got in there?
I was listening to Berlin, that song that I was playing that
yeah.
you came out and were like, what is this hipster music? Which is RYX, which he just pretty voice,
Yeah.
cool,
Okay.
plunky kind
I
of.
remember that.
And then I've been listening to this really cool podcast called Broken Record.
Okay.
And it's basically a couple different guys who interview people, but one of the guys who does the interviews is Rick Rubin and
Oh,
Malcolm
yeah.
Gladwell,
Yeah. I've been meaning to listen to that. Somebody else. was
Bruce
asking about
Headlam, yeah. Oh man, and I listened to one with Ben Folds, and they just dig in. I mean, Rick Rubin already has this way. If you know anything about his process, Shangri-La,
Yeah.
there's nothing on the walls. It's a blank space. There's no TV. There's no bad food. There's no drinking. And you go in and you just immerse yourself in sort of this peaceful. And then he just sits there, and people can't figure out
what he does.
what does he do actually,
It's interesting.
but produce. And he gently nods, and so he does a good job interviewing.
That's cool.
You know.
I saw him. I watched that Avett Brothers documentary. And
Yeah.
he was in that, and they went out there and.
Well, everyone who's ever gone and worked with him has become pretty successful. And the fact that he has absolutely no genre,
Slayer, Beastie Boys, Avett Brothers.
tons of rap lately.
like-
I mean, James Blake, you know what I mean? He get the beats, he gets, jazz, he gets, he revived several people's careers. I mean,
Johnny Cash, yeah.
worked with Petty. I mean, it's, anyway, that's what I'm listening to. I
Get
mean,
a hold of him. We'll go out there.
right? Can't we? Why doesn't Rick Rubin interview people like us? Just 2 guys who've got 110 followers on their podcast. So anyway, that's what I'm listening to. But I was in the car, and of course I'm listening to, if it's not like War on Drugs, which is also one of the best driving albums, those albums to listen to. But and we're gonna sit right now. We're gonna let you listen in on our conversation and watch if you want on YouTube with Charles Humphrey's Songs from the Road Band, and great guy and just voracious appetite for writing, and was taking notes on things we said for song titles while we were talking.
I love it. He's always working.
Wonderful guy, and his awesome girlfriend Perry, who hooked up this beautiful place we're staying in and works with these folks, and just showed us Brevard, and had a good time and ate some good food, and actually got to see a few people and sit in a room, and we make sure we tied into the community here. So
Yep.
all right, man. Speaking of songwriting,
Yes.
who do we got today?
Charles. Welcome him from Songs from the Road Band.
Charles.
And we've got him in person. This is our first in-person guest.
Thanks, guys. Glad to be
21.
here. I know, pretty cool.
On the couch, in the
Thanks.
loop, all of it.
Thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Welcome to town.
Thank you.
We had a good time last night. Y'all definitely
Yeah.
welcomed us to the coolest spot, I think.
Yeah.
This room.
Yeah. Brevard, North Carolina. We're right a couple blocks from 185 King Street, which is where playing tonight, and
Yeah.
just kind of set up shop over here at this beautiful little cabin and
Did a live stream last night.
did a live stream.
Got some jacuzzi time in. We found robes. It was great. Yeah, thanks for coming, man. So, I mean, I think what I want to know, and I think other people would want to know too, is like, how'd y'all meet? How did this get started?
I don't remember how we met. I know we've been knowing each other for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I was
through music, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe through
Mark
Civic.
through Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I remember you were at the Earl Scruggs Center when they opened it.
Ambushed that thing.
And they had like 40 banjo players.
And we ended up on the front.
Yeah. Mark was playing like Courtney Johnson's banjo.
That's
And
right.
he's
That's
like, man,
right.
I'm starting this band with Josh Daniel. That was a pretty cool night.
So
Yeah.
it was right before the Josh and Mark Shimmick project.
Yeah, Mark and I kind of played together, put out a CD, and toured for I think 3 years or so. Me and Mark and Greg Howe on the upright bass, and so that was right. That was kind of a little transition kind of period there for a lot of folks, and I think we linked up then. But Songs from the Road Band, I mean, it's kind of like a super group that's been around for a long time, right?
It has been around for a long time with myself, Mark Shippen, and Sam Horton started as a side project for an outlet for new songs and
Songwriting,
material, and
yeah.
then we had a chance to put it on the road full time, and it's crushing, and we're happier than we've ever been. It's such a great creative outlet, and the guys are great.
It's great.
Just got a new member, which
Yeah.
really solidified things. Gabe Epstein, the banjo player, he's young and graduated East Tennessee State University. He's killer, gets along with everybody.
That's awesome.
And our music is kind of banjo centric.
Yeah,
So
it
we
helps.
rocked the 4-piece for a long time, but having the banjo back
Yeah.
in the live show is great because it's on all the CDs.
Yeah.
Where did he come from?
He is from Maryland originally
Huh.
and just graduated college for banjo.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, wow.
East Tennessee is like full of
yeah.
amazing pickers, especially the
They
ones that
just
go to college out there.
Go and study
Yeah.
music and banjo, and that's all he likes to do. He's perfect.
There you go.
He kind of looks like Mark too. It's
Yeah.
like a cross between young John Hartford.
Let's pull this
young
picture up again real
Young Jerry
quick.
Garcia and Mark Civic.
There we go.
And
I got
he's young though, isn't he?
He's early 20s.
Oh man, you need that kind of energy.
James
I'll
is
tell you
mid
what.
20s.
Is he the one with the bandana on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got a picture of everyone pulled up. That's a handsome group right there.
Looks a little bit like Cheech Marin.
He does. Yeah. He looks like a guy I know in Raleigh. Also, a really good chef that I know. That's funny.
Well, that's cool. Well, congrats on on getting him in the fold there.
Thank you.
That's awesome. When was so you put out, when was the first album put out? What year was that?
I think it was 2004.
Man, that's wild. And you got
Dang.
what, 3, 4?
We're working on our 6th studio
6.
album.
Okay, look at that. I'm way off. I've only got 3 of them, I think.
So it was Songs from the Road, As the Crow Flies, Traveling Show,
Yeah. Oh man, I love that traveling.
Road to Nowhere, and Waiting on a Ride.
Yeah.
And now we've released 3 singles off the upcoming project.
Yeah.
One of them went up to number 1 on the Grassicana chart.
That's amazing.
It was Outside Omaha.
Yeah.
And then most recent single is Molasses, and it's doing really well. So we are extremely grateful to all the DJs and listeners for the support. Makes a huge difference.
I'm super proud of you guys.
Phil was hyping up the molasses last night.
Oh yeah, we had it cranked in here. We were listening to it last night.
Bragging about your songwriting skills. And,
Yeah, I mean,
and-
this
and
guy
lyrics.
writes more songs than anybody I know. For
I
sure.
mean, let's dig into this. You said, we were just chatting earlier, you said you wrote how many songs since March?
Well, I was looking back. I think it's 87 songs
amazing.
that I've completed in co-writing sessions. So that's a completed song with another writer. And that's how I do most of my writing is co-writing sessions. I really enjoy it. I think
Yeah.
it's productive. And, you get in songwriting, I think first instincts a lot of time are some of the best material. And when you're co-writing, you just have that maybe more first instincts to pull
Yeah.
from. And Josh and I had done some writing years ago in Charlotte. I was experimenting working with a writer, Psycon, and Josh popped in and kind of saved me a little bit. And
That was
then I've always been a fan of Josh and his music. I watch the shows probably 5 times a week. I love the Fernlandia. I love the community. And I love songwriting. That's been how I've dealt with the pandemic, with a few other things. Is I put all my energy into that. So Monday through Friday, I'm booking co-writes and I'm writing songs.
Yeah.
And I was like, Josh, man, we need to write. You need to get some songs. And so one week, I think we have like 3 days in a row.
Yeah, we fired up like maybe 6 songs or something.
Working with 2, 3, 4 other co-writers, and it's been productive and rewarding. So
I'll tell you, it's an interesting way to write songs that I really, really like, and to me it's really productive. And I don't know if I'm sitting there writing a song by myself, I'm second guessing everything I'm doing. I'm going, is this cheesy? Is this And then like if you have other people there, right then you just you get through it. Either you make the call, either it is or it isn't, and then you move on instead of like working on it for for me, like certain songs, if I'm writing them by myself, I'm working on them for months. And then in this, scenario, we're writing songs. It's been really fun because it's like write a song at 10 a.m. from 10 to 1, record a little, scratch
on the show that night,
and then that night when I come on at 6 o'clock, I just kick off the show with that song. So
well, there's a step in there where you text everybody.
I text you, hey, check this out.
That is amazing because usually you'll write a song, you'll know it's a good song, but it might take like 2 years before somebody records it or it's played live or you see any royalties.
So that brings up a good point. Like, is the process any different for either of you guys during the pandemic writing a song, or is this the process you would have used anyway?
I would say the pandemic has led to more virtual writing, using things like Zoom meetings, so you're not there in person. I think before the pandemic, a lot of times, like I would drive to Nashville and I'd songwrite in person for a week or so. And this is better, honestly.
It's kind of cool because we can pull in anyway, and we've been talking about even just pulling in other new friends that we have to try this with us as well. Right. Elliot and Chris and just whoever. Nora Jones, we're gonna get her in on one.
Mm-hmm. Been sliding into her DMs, but nothing yet. You know what I mean?
It's cool because the people we've been working with so far are people that I've worked with a lot, and so the more you work with somebody, you kind of know their strengths, you know how they work. And so I'm like, all right, what are Josh's strengths? I'm like, okay, well, he plays the guitar live at least for 2 hours a day, knows 900 songs, is a killer singer, so he's obviously going to have great melodic ideas and know a lot about music and phrasing and progressions of knowing 900 songs he's already played and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, well, that's, if we kind of follow his melodic ideas or what he wants to write about, he's going to be invested in that. It's going to be in his range. It's going to be comfortable for him.
And then I'll want to play it.
And so I'm like, okay, well, so let's not get somebody that has the strength thinks as Josh. Let's do something else. Oh, Marty Dotson. He's a hit songwriter in Nashville. He's got 10 number ones, but he's more of a lyric guy, and an idea content. So let's pull him in and see how that goes.
It's great.
So kind of having an idea of how people might work together too helps, as in going cold with somebody you've never written for, which can be good too.
It's like building a team.
We've been successful. She kind of does it all, but writing with Sarah Siskind, who lives here in Brevard, North Carolina, and she writes across genres and for multiple people. And I've noticed the more that we've worked with her, the quicker and more fluid it gets as well.
Yeah.
My hope is just like anything, like I play all these songs that other people wrote and my friends wrote. I play some of y'all's songs that I didn't have anything, to do with, and some I did. But it's like with these songs too, it's like it'd be really, I want to hear her sing them too, or you guys, or Mark singing with you guys, or whoever, And I think
does it matter who, like? We've talked about this before. Are these songs written for someone? Like, are they written for Josh? Are they written for you? Are they written, or does it matter who plays them and puts them on albums?
That's a great question.
Their take.
A good song is going to find its own life and go to where it needs to be and mean different things to different people. But that being said, it's a unique situation to write these songs with Josh because, as most people know, he's built a community around his music where these people are coming on every day. He's made a houseplant famous, for crying out loud. Who can make a fern famous?
It wasn't me. It's really the fans.
And then there's these people, like we're in our second hour every day. Celebrate life every day.
Celebrate life every day. We threw that in.
There's
the last song we just
all
wrote.
These things in this community, and I know Josh wants to give back to these people and include them in it too. So when we're writing these songs, we're like, man, there's all this material that's unique to this group of people that we can draw from, you know, and include them in on it. And we're like, oh shit, we wrote a song about ferns. These people are
They're gonna love
people are gonna freak out. You know?
They love it. Yeah.
It's really neat and unique to have that much material to pull from. And I think because I watch the shows, because I love the people in the chat, that I'm aware of some of those things, and you can kind of subtly hint at some of that stuff.
Yeah.
When it's like we were talking about earlier, Josh and I, about this coloring book project, we take ideas from them, like Fernlandia, and just run with it.
Yeah.
The shirts, the hats, they're in that chat basically saying, guys, here's what we want.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, we hear you. And I think the songs come across that way too. Exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they notice, that it's kind of focused towards them a little bit. I think they're just like, Josh is crushing the songs out. And they're like, he said ferns. But like, we're doing that for them for sure.
Yeah.
And I think we get a kick out of immediately getting to see their reaction. In the restaurant world where I'm from, you like seeing the plate go to the table because you want to see them enjoy it. In catering, in a company I had, you couldn't see the enjoyment. You just made the food and sent it out the door, and it lacked a little love. So every day, 2 hours a day, you get to see the response immediately. That's why it's easy, I think, for you to play a song that you just wrote. You're like, you know what? I feel comfortable testing it on these folks.
Yeah, and I say that too. And the songs change a little bit here and there, but
well, they get to see you work it out, which is so cool.
Yeah.
They're missing the 2 years of. It's a behind the scenes look, really. You guys wrote it. They didn't see that part, but now they're going to watch you develop this song into whatever it does, the life you said it would take on.
So. Well, I think just playing every day for over 300 days in a row, Josh has given these people a way to deal with COVID, a way to deal with potentially depressing situations, a way to stay connected to other people, some regularity in their day. And that's amazing that he's done that for the world, for all these people. It's really helping them out, and so I think that's why they love him and the music so much.
I mean, it helps me out too. If I didn't look forward to it and didn't want to do it, it would be tough. I'm fired up. And especially if we write a song, I'm like really fired up to play that night.
Yeah,
it's such a strange time, and that's the other thing too. Is like he hasn't missed a show in over 300 days. And he's still finding time to songwrite, do travel. And I was like,
to make a podcast.
I was like, I want to write with him. It must be early because I know he's got a show every single day.
I think
it'll be at nap time or
he's always like, let's do it.
I like that 10 o'clock.
When's the next?
The 10 a.m. hour to me is a good hour. That's
what we're doing right now.
What time it is right now here?
Wake up,
get something done.
That's right.
So speaking of the community, one of the things that I think we're proud of is the positivity we built in. That whole group online, you were saying you like that crew, you like checking in with those guys, you like the chat, they stay super positive. I think that's somewhat reflected in the songs that you guys are writing, because you're not writing sad love songs. You're writing some kind of pick me up. We're getting through this.
Yeah.
Still standing. Working hard kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's where we're at. I think right now is with the pandemic, and that's coming out in the songs, and they're there could be some sad ones coming too, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think, right now we're just, and after 300, that's what I said. That was just a phrase. I was like, here we are, we're still standing. And so we rolled with that.
I'm not going to lie. A lot of these titles, we'll come in fresh without any ideas. A lot of these have been titles that Josh has come up with, things he's feeling, that he's going through with his family, with the music. And that's what I say, first impressions, first instincts, those things are there. I'm like, I love it, man. Let's run with it.
Yeah.
See where it goes.
Let's go through these songs so everybody knows what you guys worked on. What's the first one y'all wrote together? During the
pandemic.
Order, but
I think it was.
We've done Working Man Song, Silver Lining.
Yeah.
Throw a Little Light. Still Standing.
Traveling Song.
More Ferns.
That Days Go By. Which I haven't really played.
And there's one we did with Charlie. It was it's like Sure Do or something, or
what was that?
It was a couple weeks ago. I think you played it.
Oh, Don't You?
Don't You?
Don't You?
Yeah.
So that's 8.
I think we're almost there, ready to start
8.
recording them. So yeah, I think what you guys are doing with the singles and the Spotify. And hopefully all of our listeners, music is kind of consumed in a different way now.
which we're trying to adapt to. And I love your idea that you guys are already implementing, which is releasing singles. I think that's what we're gonna do this year too. And so I'm getting fired up about getting into the studio and recording these and bringing in special guests and getting them up on Spotify and getting them to you guys, you know, in a timely manner. Let's start listening to these songs. Let's get them in the rotation. I think, are you guys gonna do like 10 or 12 and then put all those onto like a vinyl or a CD, or what's the?
Yeah, I think that's the goal, is to release them, and then, you know, once they're all out, package them up. And,
Yeah.
you know,
I love
find a group of songs that goes together and then keep working. You know.
Yeah.
Always new content.
Yeah, that's awesome. And going back to the songwriting, I think you came in kind of like saying to me, like, what do you need? Let's write for you to sing these songs. But what's cool is, and I think when you co-write with multiple people, is that everybody's invested in these songs. So like, maybe Sarah will do some of these songs, or maybe you guys will pull them out live. Have you guys played any of them live?
Absolutely. Not yet.
Nice. Well, y'all aren't really.
It's a process. So instead of you writing the song and playing every instrument and knowing all the words and singing it, you can play it that day. I then have to teach it to the lead singer, work out the harmonies, work out the arrangements. We've got 5 instruments to do it. We're gonna have to rehearse during COVID. We're gonna have to. You know, that's like so cool writing with you. You're like the king of the one-man band,
it happen right
like
then.
the human jukebox.
Yeah.
So, but that being said, we are working on new material and looking forward to do it. And some of these may certainly land there, because good songs are good songs, and they sure get caught in my head.
Well, I hope that maybe you guys. I'd love to see that happen.
Yeah, man.
You know? I know you guys. So you're playing with Steve McMurray, our other buddy.
Yes,
Acoustic
we
Syndicate.
started an event, Asheville Wintergrass, that was originally scheduled for January, and it's been moved to March now. 6th and 7th, Saturday and Sunday. 2 shows at One World West Brewing, Asheville, North Carolina. Limited capacity, outside, social distance.
We'll get some links up.
So that's going to be really cool. I think Saturday, there's some tickets may or may not be available, but Sunday is not going on sale yet. So the listeners maybe can jump in on that. And,
So tell them. So is
Steve
that
McMurray is from Acoustic Syndicate, Big Daddy.
Yeah. Is he gonna play a solo set, or is he just sitting in with you guys, or how's that gonna work?
We did a set at Floyd Fest and a couple shows
that's right.
last year, and we just combined forces.
Yeah.
He plays our songs, we play his songs, and
Oh.
he's always been one of our musical heroes.
Yeah. Same here.
And Mark and Sam harmonize great with Big Daddy, and he's a killer lead guitar player. So it's just super fun, and it's a unique experience that you don't get to see that often. So
Yeah. Have you ever written any songs with Steve?
Steve and I started one recently. I haven't done a lot of writing with him, but we there's some people that I have a lot in common with that I love. I know that are songwriters that we've been threatening to write. I just have not booked any sessions with him yet.
So you're pretty booked up. I mean, are you doing it every day, or?
I take a week and I'll just go and work Monday through Friday. This week I took some time off because I wanted to come over here and visit with you guys, see the show, do some fishing. I've been doing a lot of fishing for trout in the mountains, and then other stuff down the coast in the Oriental North Carolina area. I've got a boat down there and spend a lot of time. So, you know, when I'm at home working, I'll work hard, but then sometimes I'll take some time to go fishing.
When you're fishing, when you're outside, does the song process continue, or are you clear? You're totally clear.
The biggest thing that comes out of the times when I'm not scheduled to write is I keep a little list of titles.
Yeah.
Titles.
And I honestly don't like to show up with too much, because then somebody might get their feelings hurt about changing something. So I feel like if you just show up fresh but have like an idea, that's the best starting place for me. You know, but there's certainly no wrong way to write a song.
Yeah.
Well,
you did it last night. We said something, you went, well, there's one. And I was like, he just took mental note of a song title right now.
It always reminds me of, like, you know, the Beatles anthology where they were talking about Ringo saying 8 days a week as a phrase, and they rolled with that. And I mean, think about 8 days a week as a classic. I mean,
you never know when something's going to pop up. I'll be on a billboard.
Just gotta catch it. I like when you always say, let's chase that. He always says, let's chase that. If I said phrase, all right, let's chase that. And he's on the Google. I mean, he's got the Google Doc. We've got the Zoom going. I mean, it's
in y'all's case, and we keep circling back to the songwriting because that's what y'all are doing really well together. But in y'all's case, are you mostly writing lyrics and you're mostly writing the music, or is everybody writing the music?
It's
or?
a bunch. It's a combination of a bunch of different stuff.
Because you're admittedly, Josh,
I'm usually
most
holding the
lyrical
guitar.
person. You don't really
Right.
love writing lyrics that
Right,
much.
right. I'd say it's probably not my strongest suit.
It changes song to song and depending on which writers we're working
Yeah.
with. But Josh is certainly one of those guys that's a triple threat. You know, he can pick, sing, and write.
Yeah,
Thank you, Aaron.
I love it.
Well, I appreciate it.
That's why the songs are coming so
It's
fast.
been so much fun. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I'm just more fired up now than ever and like ready to see what happens once we get post-pandemic. I think you guys are going to be in a good spot too. You just signed with
Prater Day out of Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
congrats. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're thrilled to be working with Curtis and his team at Prater Day. They've always, we've always looked up to them. Some of our music heroes and good friends are over there on the roster as well.
Good.
So we are just really honored to be working with them.
That's awesome.
Like you say, we look forward to hopefully being able to do some live shows when all this mess
Yeah.
is under control.
Yeah.
Are they planning for that with you guys? Like, what does the future look like when things open
They
back
are.
up?
Curtis reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, I think we're finally going to see a light at the end of the tunnel, and it makes sense to join
Yeah.
forces." So I said, "Well, that's great news. I love your enthusiasm
Yeah.
and optimism. Let's do it."
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I feel like all the agents have just been, rescheduling, and then the rescheduled dates have been canceled. So it's like they've kind of just been turning their wheels for,
It's tough, and I think it's the bigger bands that are suffering the most.
yeah, oh, totally. And they got a lot of people to pay on their.
We've been lucky to be able to stay busy with some outdoor stuff, some private stuff, some low numbered stuff, all socially distanced. And
Yeah.
If we don't think it's safe, we're not going to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's been ways to do that. It's a little bit more difficult during the winter because things are moving inside.
It is,
but
yeah.
We've been grateful. All our guys live in the same town, so we don't have to fly somebody in and have like a anchor gig that guarantees us much money to cover the plane flights and all that stuff. So we'll probably come out on the other end of this in a better place than where we started, which is certainly strange, but we're grateful for how it's working out.
Yeah.
Silver
I
linings.
feel the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't come out better. Who knew
Yeah.
you were going to go play a year every day?
I certainly did.
When this stuff started and build a religious following of music lovers. I mean, that is a silver lining for sure.
It's
crazy.
definitely. I feel like I'm kind of looking at spring. Like I'm almost like spring. I'm ready. When it gets nice out. Even today, it's pretty nice out here. I'm like, I want to play outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll be doing some more of that come spring.
But everybody was just figuring it out together. There was no map or protocol.
Yeah.
This has never happened before
Yeah.
in the history of the country, and the music industry was affected, as hard as anybody. And they were figuring out, all right, what do we do now? And different artists have attacked it in different ways, be it recording 10 days in a row at an empty venue or switching to live streams, and it was just everybody's figuring it out as they go.
I like what Sturgill did he came back with the bluegrass band and they did the station in. They all showed up and
We were talking about that last night. It's trailblazing is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was not a map for this at all. It was uncharted territory. Everything shut down. So it's like, all right, well, basically everyone started at the same point. Do you stop playing music? Do you pivot? And it is hard to turn a big ship. It's real slow, So the smaller you are, footprint-wise, one guy in the band, the easier it is to pivot.
Yeah.
And Josh's pivot was like a logical take care of the family pivot. And some bands had a pivot where they were like, we just need to get online, host these, like the live band show that you guys did in Asheville that you guys produced.
Yeah.
Yeah, bands to fans.
Yeah,
That was something
that was a
Sam
pivot.
Horton was doing, bringing in regional music and putting it out there for free tip basis for all genres of music for people to enjoy, and that was
early.
Yeah, that was early on.
Yeah.
So that was a creative way to address that.
And I think one of the cool things, and I've heard Josh, you've said this quite a few times now, you're like, I don't know how big of a band I want to be in anymore because it's so much easier to just pack my stuff up and move along on my,
I tell them the same thing. I'm like, Josh, man, don't get a lead guitar player. We want to hear you play lead, man. That's what we're listening to every day.
That's
and
hilarious.
the loops and the way the bass pedals come in, like that's what it sounds like a full band.
Yeah.
Or it's like, don't get a band, man. It's not gonna be the same. They're just gonna mess you up.
The energy though, the energy is definitely different. Like I keep trying to convince him, stop making sense. You know what I mean? Like you start off on your own doing some stuff.
Yeah.
Add in band members as you build up, you know, and that would make a cool show where they get the taste of, you know, kind of doing your own thing. And then you tailor the tunes like that you guys have been writing that you want to showcase on this, let's say, tour, whenever that happens, in support of the new songs.
Yeah.
You can tailor the show basically how you want. Highlight the year you did as a solo artist. Bring your friends in that you wrote with.
Yeah.
Play some heavy hitters with a full band, which is a different energy. You know, getting drums in there and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of... I feel like the floodgates are just going to open at once. And everyone's going to have to re-figure out what to do.
Right.
Because you can't book every band at every venue every night all of a sudden. You know, and they're going to
And I think it's still going to be limited, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to have to be safety precautions put in place to make sure that everybody's okay. But man, I'm jonesing too. I mean, I'm looking at the calendar now. It's like now that we're so far into it, now we're coming up on a year. It's like I'm starting to think about the last shows I saw this time last year. Like here we are, you know, it's January. We're still, you know, playing gigs, still doing. We don't know anything about COVID. We're going, you know.
We got a little clip of you sitting in with the road band.
Yeah,
the third podcast. That was
let's
take a look at it.
Yeah.
Petra's there and
yeah, just kind of a little random thing on a Thursday night.
That was a good time.
We were in Charlotte, so we appreciate you coming by. It's fun, you know. I miss doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I came out to that one private thing you guys did and sat in with you guys over the pandemic. Played a couple that
was fun, outdoor.
Yeah, festival. But I sure do miss it, and I miss playing with other musicians. And so I think once we're out of this thing, maybe we could do a Songs from the Road JD.
Oh man,
tour. That'd be so much fun.
Oh,
you guys
do
a solo set, and then we all do one together.
You're gonna have to take it out west too, man, because the West Coast is dying.
Yeah,
we would love to do that.
I know the East Coast gets a lot of you guys because it's easier to travel, but you have to get out there for these folks.
I think we're gonna be ready. And you guys did a few runs out to Colorado already.
We have been out there a lot. There's a lot of music lovers out there. It's a great state to play in.
And then like Andy Thorne is out there and stuff too, and those leftover
great
guys.
Bands.
Andy, right now he's on a few of your records too, right?
He is. The band kind of started in the Chapel Hill scene. Took a lot of. We were talking about last night. Lefty took a lot of members of the Big Fat Gap.
Yeah.
All those guys have gone on to solo.
Yeah. Everyone who played with them is great.
The top of the industry now. But it was like Andy Thorne and John Stickley, Bobby Britt,
and they're doing their project together. Sticks and Thorns.
Andrew Marlin.
Yeah.
Some of the Town Mountain guys, Robert Greer, Phil Barker, all those guys are on the early records as either then band members or guest vocalists and stuff. So for people that are fans of all these other bands, it's kind of neat and may not have heard about Songs from the Road Band. They can go back in our catalog and hear some musicians that they are familiar with that they love. Like, oh man, I love Town Mountain. I love Stupid Trio. I love Lefty saying, oh wait, here's some new music that they're doing I haven't heard yet.
I love that. I'll tell you, I love the one that Andrew. I think did he write that with you guys? The traveling show. Man, that's
Jonathan
a great
Bird, who's
another
great musician and songwriter, and he's been doing a lot of cool stuff during the pandemic.
Yeah,
he and I wrote that together, and Andrew Marlin sang
it. Okay.
Produced on the record.
And then I heard Larry play it. Larry Kill play it once.
Yeah, you were talking about people
Yeah.
playing other people's songs.
Yeah.
That was like a huge compliment. So I mean,
It was
we were
great.
all Larry Keel fans. We love Larry, and to hear him play that, I was like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah, I've had some of the most fun times I've ever had is with Larry. Picking. He loves to play.
That's a whole separate podcast. those
I'm trying to
stories
get him on.
there.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get him
He and Jenny came down to Oriental this past fall, and we went drum fishing.
Oh, I saw some pictures.
And
Yeah.
we had an epic day. The wind turned on just right, and we went to this little point, and we were playing all his favorite like country music on the radio. And we got Jenny on the boat too. It was a little bit bumpy, but that's what the drum like. And we were catching them every cast.
Oh
It was awesome, man. It was like the best day drum fishing. And then you're here with one of your musical heroes doing it.
Yeah, no doubt. And
So-
it's
so
I was
much
just
fun.
looking at Larry, with Tony Rice passing away and everything, and how like Larry is, feels about Tony Rice, and I think that's how I feel about him.
It was
And
definitely.
I think it's
Huge
really cool to
loss
see the generate.
guitar community.
Yeah, but he's one of the best pickers, I think.
He just released a new record.
Yeah.
He plays
Every
every
instrument.
instrument
It's awesome.
and wrote all the songs. And we text each other back and forth every couple of weeks, like, "Hey man, just wrote this song, send it to you."
Yeah, same here.
just little random stuff.
Yeah, that's
So,
awesome.
but he's a sweet guy. Definitely, all you listeners out there, check out Larry Keel if you're not familiar with him, and get the new.
It's good.
New record.
American Dream is
That's
what it's
it,
called.
American
It's-
Dream.
It's pretty cool. He did it all. I mean, I guess he's playing bass on it too. And
He is.
He's playing banjo.
He was playing some of those
Man,
songs for me while we were on that fishing trip. He's like,
Yeah.
"Check this out, man. I'm working on this."
It's cool.
It's
I'm
very
glad
cool.
that he's been busy. He's definitely one that, makes his living mostly on playing live shows. So,
Yeah.
I mean, here I am sitting here. I mean, I've been trying to, support your artists, buy their shirts and their CDs.
Go
and
to the
their
merch
socks, whatever they have.
site, buy it.
And you were lucky enough to get to. We talked about it. It was one of the top
Right,
moments
yeah.
of 2020. You got to play that drive-in show
Yeah.
with them and
that was
convinced
cool.
them to play "Holiday" by Madonna, which is amazing.
I love that Larry's up for it. I mean, he's
Yeah.
he's kind of like me, and even Keller Williams. We talk about that a lot. Is like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, here we are. We're at a
Definitely.
bluegrass thing. We're gonna play a Madonna song. I mean, that's just I love it though. And
The
that's-
crowd loved it too, and once they figured out what it was, they were like, "Yes, this is amazing."
It was
We
fun.
put that whole video up in the last podcast. If you haven't checked it out, that's more of a video worthy podcast. What are those called? What is a video cast?
video. I don't know. Video podcast.
It's on YouTube, people. We'll put some links up.
Well,
I want to talk about Cand-Aid and let you
Yeah, Cand-Aid.
tell folks about this.
Is an organization we're involved with. We are ambassadors for them, and our role in Cand-Aid is we help get instruments to kids that need them in schools. We will do concerts that benefit them. We have a co-branded merch item that's socks with a stash pocket, and you can go onto our website and buy those, and the money goes to support Cand-Aid. They are based out of Lyons, Colorado. It originally was started as a flood relief campaign when Lyons, Colorado flooded, and once that got under control, they kept it going and branched out and did things like treads and trails, freshwater, flood relief, musical instruments for kids. I'm actually a race director for an event. It's called the Hullabaloo 50K and Relay that they do here in Brevard, North Carolina. And that's an ultra marathon where you can run 33 miles or 3 people can run 11 miles. And we've combined it with the festival vibe where there's live music and food trucks. And that happens every fall. We took a year off this year because of COVID.
yeah.
And that benefits Cand-Aid as well. So they're a great organization. And we're, me personally as a race director and have the band involved, we're glad to be ambassadors for them. So
That's awesome.
it's cool stuff. Yeah, check it out. They're great folks.
We'll
And there's
put some
they've
links
got
up.
a long list of bands that they work with that are some really cool people out there as well.
Cool. Well, you know how we are. We're all about the community, and we're all about
Man, I
putting
can't
some
believe
positivity
The
out there
money
and
you
raise
raised
some money
for
yeah.
the hospitals in Charlotte.
It's-
Congrats, man. That
Thank
is
you.
mind blowing.
It's really been
What is it now? Like
we're right at 50,000. I mean, and I'm totally. I mean, I was thinking we would raise 10, maybe. I mean, it way exceeded our expectations. Again, thanks. I mean,
Here-
that's all due to the fans and stuff.
Here musicians are like scraping to pay bills and stuff. And Josh Daniels was raising $50,000 for a charity,
Yeah.
And like you said, it is the fans and the community. So it's amazing. It's a testament to how much people love you and that you're able to do that and give back to the community, man. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. Well, we certainly, you guys are part of our family, part of our extended family. Songs from Road. Mark, of course, one of my
best buddies, and you and
And Perry, we got to shout out to Perry. She's killing it, man. She taught me how to build a fire last night. So I
got the lodging set up.
Yeah, this house is amazing.
Oh, Josh, we should mention one of my favorite experiences was when I was in Saskatchewan, Canada, and I changed my flights and left my luggage and everything else was coming home, and I ended up in Chicago and bump into Mark Shimmick and Josh Daniel. Score some tickets for Saturday.
That's the best time ever.
Sunday Dead 50 reunion. There was so many people there. And
we could do a whole podcast just on that weekend.
That weekend comes up a lot.
We were playing music on this. Josh is out there singing Streets of
Oh, that's
Waterloo
right.
on the sidewalk.
We were
man.
playing. I forgot we did a little busking.
busking.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a better group of guys to experience that with.
Was the hype man there?
Phil was.
He
He wasn't with us.
He wasn't with us.
But it was an amazing
smaller
community of
crew.
people that just ascended on the city.
I've never seen anything like that.
That was one of my favorite memories of one of our adventures together.
Yeah, for sure. Grateful Dead. Mm-hmm. You know, it's all it's part of this whole story too. And man, I really appreciate you writing songs with me, getting me fired up, and coming on the podcast.
Thanks for both of you guys doing what you do. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Thanks.
It's been an honor.
We're gonna throw all your links up. You guys check out Songs from the Road Band. When you go on Spotify, hit that download button, hit that follow button, and we're always we love to support our friends' bands and fellow songwriters, and so make sure you follow Songs from the Road Band.
Yep. And we'll put all those links up like Josh said. Really appreciate you coming in, Charles. This has been so much fun, and I feel like we're a lot more in the loop with your life now. And now that you've mentioned trails and running, I think that's what we need to hit some trails.
Let's go out.
Let's get outdoors.
He's already done a few miles today.
Yeah. Got to warm it up a
We were
little
still
bit.
sleeping. All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, y'all. Don't forget to find our podcast. We are now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can watch through Buzzsprout, and then we're making videos and doing this on the YouTube page, on Josh Daniel's YouTube page, actually.
Yeah, and YouTube has the best quality for audio and video, so make sure and subscribe.
Yeah.
We're archiving everything over there and keeping that channel rolling. So subscribe to everything. Tune in tonight, every night, whatever day you're listening to this, watching this. Tune in that day. Catch up with us. We'll keep you in the loop.
We're going to follow Josh. If you want to see The Daily Show, then you can find him on Facebook at
What are we on? Facebook.
Josh Daniel Grateful Band. And Instagram is
Josh Daniel _music, I believe.
yeah, Josh Daniel.
But it's all if you go to the Josh Daniel Music website, it takes you everywhere, and it's a great site. So
The show's also available there every day.
it is. So anybody who's not on Facebook, you don't have to be on Facebook to watch it. You can pull it up on your smart TV on YouTube very easily.
Yeah.
So,
And then I personally am Lefty at large. If you want to follow me, I track a lot of behind the scenes kind of stuff.
embarrassing photos, maybe.
Yeah, some stuff people don't see for Josh, but then also all my weird outdoor adventures. And my travels, and then we just started one for the podcast, and it is the In the Loop _ podcast.
Yeah, great.
So come find us over there because we've got some special guests we want to share with you guys. Keep up with us, guys.
Thanks.